Welcome, everybody. John Zager. Hope you're all having a good morning. Hope you had a good day yesterday. Turned out to be a great day over here. Let's see, Sunday morning. Thought I would talk about manifesting things into your life today. Not a long podcast. I'm going to keep this one relatively short. There's a fair amount of information on YouTube where people are just talking about manifesting and how to manifest and how it works and that sort of thing. So I'm not going to be overly redundant where you can find it elsewhere, I suppose. But for those of you who don't know or whatever, manifesting is the kind of thing where through thought and emotions we can have things materialize in our life. And in workshops they practice manifesting kind of as a intro tool to getting other things accomplished in your life through thought and emotions. But at any rate, what's the story? There's a bunch of stories that are just, I don't know, they're all over the internet. But the one that I recall that seems pretty common is that a lady in a workshop wanted to manifest a red balloon. You know, you think of something that is fairly common, but not likely to show up. And then you give yourself a couple days or so and see if you can, through thought and emotion, have the thing manifested. And of course, here she is up on stage, a delightful lady, and she's got her red balloon. I don't know where she was, but she was walking outside somewhere and there was a red balloon right in her path. Another lady, what was she looking for? A $2 bill? That's fairly common. Or something of that nature. And she was walking by the piano bar at the hotel where the where the workshop was, and there in the tip jar was a $2 bill or whatever have you. But so here's how you don't manifest. Let's use, for example, the person that has lack. Doesn't have a lot of money, not a lot of resources, just maybe homeless, maybe unemployed at the current time, right? May have some bills, may have the fear of losing their apartment or their home. Lack. And we're trying to think in terms of probably finances when we say lack in this particular case. So they're consumed. I don't think this is a stretch at all. I think most people would be consumed with, how am I going to get enough money to pay the mortgage, to pay the rent, to pay the truck payment, to put food on the table, feed the kids, pay my tuition, pay for the medical bills that I'm incurring. And people get consumed with the negative, the what ifs. How am I going to do that? And for most people, they believe matter changes matter. All right. There's a program on neuroscience, so bear in mind, changing matter is not our idea of where we want to go. we're more in the quantum field. So, as long as you think negative, you're going to attract negative. Law of attraction, The Secret, all of that genre. Like attracts like. So if you think in terms of negative, you're going to get negative. If you think in terms of positive, you're going to get positive. So you got an idea of that, yeah? So that's the reason people have difficulty manifesting. They think they're thinking positive. What would be an example of that? Boy, I'm excited. Next month I am going to be able to make my payment on my truck. That's a negative. You're limiting. You have a limiting belief system. You're thinking in terms of, I can make one payment next month based on my work history and working really hard for the next 30 days. I'll be able to get past that one. As opposed to, I'm going to pay off my truck. I have the money to pay off my truck. Now, you want to make statements that are positive, not negative. Even if they're not true at the moment, you want to say to your mind, and your mind will follow whatever you tell it to do. You want to say to your mind, it's okay for us to think this way right now. So, I'm excited about paying off my truck. I'm excited about the new home I'm going to get. I'm excited about paying my mortgage off. Think in terms of positive, right? So you want to make positive statements, not negative statements. That means you have to slow down and think before you speak. You've heard the old words that, what you say could be dangerous. Because your mind just follows what you say. It goes into the subconscious and tries to pull out the answer to what you're saying. It doesn't care if it's positive or negative, good or bad. The mind doesn't interpret things that way. So we need to be a little cautious about what we say. So once again, we have to be very positive, think in terms of the words that we're using and that we're putting out there. And the other end of it in manifesting is emotions. So what if you said, boy, I don't know how I'm going to pay that doctor's bill next week. So you hear two things. You hear a negative statement and you hear dejection in the tone of voice, right? What about this one? Boy, I have enough money to pay that doctor's bill next week, but I'm just not sure if it's going to be in time or not. So you hear a positive statement of sorts. Obviously, it's got a negative behind it, so it's going to draw the negative. And then you have the dejected tone of voice, which is even more so. That's the emotion, drawing in more negative. So we have to look at, let's make this simple again. We have to look at tonality, right? We have to look at the tone of our voice. We have to look at our body posture. We have to look at our eyes. We have to look at our facial expressions. Are we open and closed or closed in our body posture? Are we excited? Are we happy? Are we joyous? You can be in a not so good situation and you can still be happy. You can still be joyous. It's kind of a weird word. Joyful, happy, elated, excited. You can have good thoughts about life and what's transpiring and what's going on, and you can still be in just maybe not so good financial situation. So, in order to manifest things into your life, number one, you've got to stop the negative thinking. Even your positive thoughts may be negative. You have to sit down and analyze. Remember, belief systems? I hope you've all sat down and processed through your belief systems and made some changes there or continue to make some changes. Same thing's true here. You may think you're being positive, but sit down and pick those words apart. And is there a negative in there? And if there's a negative in there, that's what it's going to draw. Your emotions. Maybe we don't even know our emotions are hindering us from manifesting what we want. It's not uncommon to think the best and maybe try to feel the best, but it just doesn't come across, right? I mean, you wake up in the morning, and again, you should, do a little meditation to see what kind of person you're going to be that day. But let's say you get away with being positive emotionally and mentally in the morning for an hour, hour and a half, and then you revert right back to maybe some of those negative emotions. Or it's been 2 days or 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years and things have not changed. You need to go on with your life and be happy. If you're living in the back of your truck at the moment, right, try to be as happy as you can be with what you have. Manifesting has to do with gratitude. Remember way back when we used to talk about where do you start with getting healthy? Gratitude. Just plain gratitude. You might not have a bright financial outlook or picture or situation or environment, but you're still able to be happy and grateful for things every day. So sit down and think about how grateful you are, excuse me, on a bunch of little things that are going on. Gosh darn, it's a beautiful day today. This tree looks really cool right here in front of me. And the grass, it's brown right now, but it's soon going to be green. And the temperature is really nice. Spring is right here. Just pick anything. There's a rabbit over there. How cool is that? That's a cool rabbit. It doesn't matter how trivial it is. Find things to be grateful for. So, those are the things I think that work in being able to manifest things, and why we wonder sometimes our manifestations are not happening or coming true. And I think it has a lot to do with what I just talked about. So it's up to you to change that. Last thought of the morning is, like everything I'm talking about, even from self-healing, people don't believe it's possible. I mean, people blow off these podcasts because, it's not possible. What's he talking about today? Oh, gosh. Well, manifesting is the same thing. Of course it's possible. Here's another thought. Right? Atoms. World's made up of atoms, correct? All right. So, the majority of an atom doesn't exist, right? This is quantum stuff. It's all air. There's nothing there. If you go and open up an atom, there's nothing there. And there's this small, very minute piece of the atom that has so much power and energy in it that it could blow up the world, so to speak, So I live, myself, John Zager, I live in 99, excuse me, my voice in the morning is pretty gruff, huh? I live in the piece of the atom that's 99.999% possibility, all energy. I've always, and I continue, and always every single day of my life, live my life as I'm in the part of the atom that's 99.999% possibility. Like this morning, like yesterday morning, every morning I drive around, or wherever I'm at, or whatever I'm going, or whoever I'm going to see, I say right now, this very moment, today, this hour, this minute, this day, this week, this month, I have 99.999% possibility. So anyway, you guys, have a good day. Take care of one another. God bless. See you all.